Okay, let's be honest. How many cups of coffee have you had today already? Is it one? Is it two? Or is your bloodstream maybe 60% cold brew and 40% kind of regretting your choices up until now? You may have laughed or cried at that, but you know what? Here's the thing. If you're saying right now, I'm fine, it's okay, you're probably not as fine as you would like to think. You're probably running on empty. And today I want to talk to you about how to really tell when you are really low on fuel. Before you collapse, before you have the big breakdown, burnout, there are so many warning signals that a lot of times we ignore, we get used to, and we suppress with things such as trying to give ourselves more energy through coffee or whatever it is. There are ways to tell. So let's dive into it today. I remember several years ago, gosh, this was probably maybe 20 years ago now. I remember being really at my wit's end, and I didn't realize it at the time. And, you know, one of the things about catching the signs earlier about when you are running on low for too long is that you can save yourself and the people around you a lot of pain and uncertainty, and you can really prevent a lot of things from happening. I remember about 20 years ago, I was at the grocery store. And I just went in there for a few things and I thought, I don't need to write it down. I'll just go in there and get whatever I need. And I remember standing there in the frozen section, completely blank, just blank. I had no idea what I needed to get at the grocery store anymore. It was the weirdest thing. I mean, I am somebody, even at that time, it probably was even more, where I kept a lot of things in my mind. I mean, just a lot of things. I was multitasking. I was making lists in my mind. I really didn't have to write anything down. It was really crazy. And so for me to be standing there not knowing what to buy or what I was even there for, I was so frustrated. I thought, oh my God, I have lost it now. I stood there for about 10 minutes, really racking my brain, getting frustrated. I actually started getting anxiety, started getting anxious about it. And finally I said, forget about it. I'm just going to walk out. I'm just going to leave. I'm going to go home. I don't know what I was there for. And it was really a big wake up call for me to realize that, you know what? This was a big clue. This was a sign for me that I was doing too much, taking care of too many things, multitasking too much. My mind was continuously 24 hours, 24/7. It was just going and going and going. And it was a big signal for me to know that, you know what, maybe I was running on low. There are several signs that will tell you. For me, it was that moment in the grocery store where I just couldn't think of anything. But there are several signs that I want to talk to you about to help guide you in figuring out whether you are on your way towards a burnout or whether you are really running on fumes rather than on fuel. The first one, and I think that sometimes we underestimate this one, is irritability, where everything annoys you. Like you cannot handle anything. You know, you hear a child crying and it's just automatically on your last nerve. You know, your boss says something to you in a certain way, or a client says something to you in a certain way, and you're from 0 to 100 within a matter of seconds. That irritability is a definite sign that you are not doing okay. You don't have any reserves to have the patience, to have the calmness, to be able to adapt and be flexible. Now, I know that some people will say, no, that's just my personality. I just have a short fuse. And sure, some of us do have a short fuse. That could very well be. But this is a different kind of irritability. This is where even when the way your partner's breathing irritates you, the smallest things will irritate you and you don't know why. It's one of the ways that we brush off very easily. So I want you to pay attention to this. If you're feeling irritable, it's probably time to take a step back and see what is causing that irritability. Are you overtired? Are you just doing a lot? The second sign that I find is really a big one, and this is what I went through, was brain fog. Was that moment where you have like 37 different tabs open in your brain and you're trying to manage all of them at the same time. It does not work. I know that multitasking is the thing to do, and people kind of give you a pat on the back if you can multitask a lot of things. I get it. And I am guilty of it as well. But I have definitely learned that multitasking is not always working smarter or working more efficient. In fact, it really disperses your energy and your focus. You don't actually end up focusing on anything, and you end up increasing this propensity towards brain fog. And having that kind of brain fog where you totally black out, you don't even know what you're doing anymore, can be a really scary thing, especially if you're somebody who uses their mind a lot and is used to having it all together. This is also one that we tend to brush off. We tend to just make fun of it and say, oh, I'm just scatterbrained, or, oh, you know how I am. I just walk in here. I'm getting older. I'm walking in here and I'm forgetting what I'm doing, or I'm putting my keys in the freezer, which I think happened one time to me. And it's like, no, that is your body's way of saying, slow down. You need to recharge. You need a break. And you need to do it quickly before it gets to the point where it is a constant state and not just a fleeting moment in time. The next sign is constant tiredness. Now this one, I'm not talking about your occasional tiredness. I'm talking about the tiredness that you wake up and you're ready for a nap immediately. I know a lot of people, you may know a lot of people that way too. You may be feeling that way right now, where you're constantly tired. It doesn't matter if you stay up late. It doesn't matter if you sleep 10 hours. It doesn't matter what it is. You cannot get enough coffee. You cannot splash enough cold water in your face, but you are constantly tired. I'm telling you, that is your body's way of saying that it's time to slow down and really figure out what it is. Now, of course, there are things that can be causing that, such as low vitamin D3, low iron, B12, B vitamins. There are a number of things in that nature. It could be that the quality of sleep that you're getting is not good. That's also something that you can address. So I would recommend, if you are feeling kind of this constant tiredness, first and foremost, contact your healthcare practitioner and find out if you can get some blood work and evaluate that. Look at that. Then I want you to look at the same time, look at what's going on mentally, emotionally for you. Are you overstretching yourself? Have you been under a lot of stress for a long time? Because these things are going to be very important whenever you're addressing tiredness. So I want you to know that these three signs can be indicators of other things, of course, okay? But when we're talking about going towards burnout and really running ourselves ragged, it's not necessary. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. It's how we decide to utilize them. It's how we decide to manage them in our minds, as well as how we execute what we need to be able to do. So there is definitely hope for you. I don't want you to get discouraged. These are just a few signs that I've shared with you. And it's one of those things that we just have to slow down to be able to start looking at things in a different way. I have found that one of the keys for that is catching it early. When you catch it early and you know that your body is giving you an indication, your mind is giving you the indication, hey, you need to slow down, and you do it. Build it in. And I know, one of the things, I remember this was a client of mine that I was working with several years ago, and she was notorious about waiting until she got a signal before she started building in downtime in her calendar. And I told her, I said, that downtime should be in there the minute January 1st is there. You've got to build it in. Once you learn what rhythm that you need for your mind and body to rejuvenate, you've got to build that in your calendar. And nobody can touch that time. It's not that you plan it in and you say, no, actually, I'm going to see some clients at that time. No, it's not about that. It's non-negotiable. Why is that? Because we want to prevent these things from happening. We don't want to end up being irritable, completely brain fogged, can't remember a thing, and completely tired all the time. And we don't need to get to that point. See, the thing is that our body is constantly talking to us and telling us what is happening. So when we are close to running low on our fuel, it's going to give us these warning signs a lot quicker, even a lot quicker than our cars do. Our cars usually, we wait until we get that light. We may see the needle that goes down towards the E, but a lot of times we wait till that light comes on. Our body is brilliant in this way. So whenever we start to realize this in an earlier way, and there are things that you can already start to do if you're feeling any of these things, okay, already, I want to share with you just a few quick tips that will really help you in being able to recharge yourself. One of the easiest ways that I find is pausing. And I know that may sound a little bit silly, but 10 minutes a day, just 10 minutes. I'm talking about the waking hours, okay? 10 minutes a day of pausing can be a big game changer where you're not doing anything. And I'm not talking about 10 minutes on your phone, scrolling and getting all this input. I'm talking about 10 minutes of doing nothing in the sense of staring out the window, looking at nature, going for a walk for 10 minutes. That also incorporates moving, which is also very, very good. But doing nothing for 10 minutes, listening to a beautiful piece of music. I love doing that. Or listening to my favorite song and just kind of, getting lost in that. 10 minutes a day will make a big difference. If you can do this more often, that would be great. But try just 10 minutes a day of doing nothing and see how much better you feel. Moving, what I was saying earlier, walking out in nature, moving around, putting on a great piece of music and dancing in your office if you can, or dancing at home, whatever it may be. Taking the time to move your body and get your body moving will help release a lot of the tension and release the energy in order for you to recharge yourself. And the last tip that I have for that, and it's probably the most important and the most talked about, is sleep. Prioritize your sleep. You have to prioritize your sleep, because if you don't, it's a big game changer. Because if you don't, it's going to be one of those things that you cannot you can't get back. It's interesting because a lot of times I have clients and patients that say, well, I didn't sleep well for a while, and then I got a good night's sleep for 10 hours, and that should do it, right? That should make up for it. And it doesn't. It doesn't. So when we're talking about your sleep hygiene, no scrolling in bed until 2 o'clock in the morning, no TikTok or anything like that, but actual rest. If you want to turn on a piece of music or have an app that can help you kind of wind down, that's okay. I know it's radical to think about the fact that your phone will not be in the same room as you, but when you're exhausted, it's the basic things that feel like that take so much effort, that are like rocket science. And that's why this reminder is really important for you to prioritize your sleep. It's not a negotiable thing. It's a very, very important thing. So I want you to think about for this week. I want you to stop visiting the baristas so often. Cut down on the coffee, okay? When you are snapping at people and you're snapping at just anybody and anything, if you are feeling brain fogged, that you're forgetting, you're walking into a room and you're forgetting what you're there for, or waking up really tired, it may be just time for you to do a little recharge and reset. You're running close to empty or on empty already. I'm hoping that you spot the signs before you crash, okay? Please take care of yourself, because refilling your tank often and frequently as possible will help prevent you from running down a course of burnout. It'll help you by getting some rest, prioritizing your self-care. This is going to be very important. So if this hit home for you, please be sure to subscribe, hit the like button. Be sure to share this with your fellow family, friends, or colleagues that may need this reminder. I thank you so much for joining me today. And until next time.